Today is the day that I finally start wrapping the BRZ, but first, before I get started, I do need to pick up a couple of things that I'm missing that I'm gonna need to get this job done. Also, I woke up sick today, so if I sound a little off, that's why, but if you guys wanna go ahead and pause the video and guess what color we're gonna be wrapping the BRZ, put it in the comments. I'm really curious to see who gets it right. I'm gonna need some Goo Gone to remove the adhesive once I remove the badges, so I stopped here at O'Reilly's, and then thankfully right next door is gonna be the 99-cent store because I also need to get some isopropyl alcohol and a spray bottle. So I've decided to start off the wrap with the trunk, but in order to do the trunk, I do need to debadge it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my heat gun and some floss so I can start debadging the back, and then once I've taken off all the badges, I'll have a nice clean surface to wrap over. Because my car is so new, it's actually really easy to take off all the leftover adhesive here. You can kind of just like roll it with your finger like that. But if you're trying to wrap an older car, then it might actually be pretty difficult to get all this off because it's been sitting for so long in the sun. But in this case, yeah, it comes off pretty easy. So I'm gonna take this off, I'm gonna hit it with some Goo Gone, and then we'll get back to wrapping. After battling with the Subaru badge for about 30 minutes and a bunch of floss later, I finally got it off. So now I'm actually gonna go ahead and remove this whole trim piece here as well so I can take out the third brake light, and it'll also just make it easier to tuck all the material under here, so that way there's no chance of it heating up and pulling back later. I'm gonna tuck it in pretty far. So I got this piece off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just wipe all this clean and I can get to wrapping that part. Also, the third brake light is this gray piece here, which looks like it's just held on by some Phillips head screws, so that should be pretty easy to take out. Once I take that out, it'll be extremely easy to wrap in the third brake light area where I normally couldn't get too far in. I wiped down the panel one more time just to make sure that it was clean, and now for the color reveal. It is red. This color is from a company called Milliotone. They're a pretty new brand. One of my friends actually recommended to me that I try it out. I'm gonna go ahead and give Milliotone a try for the first time. We'll see how that is. It's a lot cheaper than going with anything like TinyBot, so if I end up liking Milliotone, that's probably the brand that I'm gonna be using to wrap my cars from here on out. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping the trunk, and I'll get back to you guys when I'm done with that. It's now the next day. Yesterday I ended up taking a break after finishing the trunk, but the trunk is complete and it's looking super good. So now I'm gonna move on to wrapping the door, but in order to do that, I have to remove the door handle and the side mirror over here. And to do that, I have to remove the door panel to get to those. So I'm gonna get started with that and we'll get to wrapping the door. So I was finally able to disassemble the door. Honestly, taking that door handle off was a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. But the whole door is taken apart now. Now I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this. The only thing is I don't wanna remove the door edge guards here, and it's honestly really hard to remove the door edge guards, so I'm gonna try to wrap over that. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad, but let's give it a go. I'll show you once it's done. And that's the door all wrapped. I already put back the mirror and I already put back the door handle. I honestly really like how the carbon contrasts against the red. I think that's pretty cool. It was barely noticeable when the car was black. But now that that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other door, and I'm also gonna do the hood. And I think that's where I'm gonna cut it for today. I'm gonna pick up on this next week.